Good morning, dear students. Today we will discuss chapter number 19 of our English grammar book, and the name of the chapter is Sentences Simple, Compound, and Complex. If you remember, in chapter number 1 also we discussed kinds of sentences that are assertive, imperative, exclamatory, and interrogative. That was a classification of sentences based upon their expression. Means, what do they express? Today we will learn the kinds of sentences based upon their structure. So let us start. But before that, you must be aware of some technical terms which will provide basis to learn the main esteem of the chapter. So here we start. The first technical term is sentence. You must be aware of what is the meaning of sentence. A group of words with a complete meaning is known as sentence. Next is phrase. A group of words without a subject and a verb is known as phrase. It is a part of sentence which gives you thought but not complete thought. So it is known as phrase. Next is finite verb. Here, if a verb shows the number tense and the person in a sentence, it is called a finite verb. Like, she writes a letter. Here, writes is a finite verb because it is telling us number, that is singular, person, that is third person she, and tense, that is present tense. So here when a verb shows a number, tense, and a person in a sentence, it is called finite verb. So keep remember the definition of finite verb. Next is clause. You must be aware of the difference between clause, phrase, and sentence. Clause is a group of words that contains a subject and a predicate. A clause may be independent or dependent. Like the sun shines in the sky, here the sun is our subject and the remaining part is predicate. Now, kinds of clauses. There are two kinds of clauses. First is main clause, that is known as principal clause or independent clause also. You have to remember kinds of clauses till we complete the chapter because it is the basis of our kinds of sentences also. So a group of words having a subject, a finite verb, and complete meaning is known as main clause or principal clause. Like, if she hears the news, she will get a surprise. Here she will get a surprise. This is our principal clause or independent clause that can stand independently. It is having a subject she, finite verb will get, and complete meaning. It doesn't need any other clause to make the meaning clear, so it is known as a independent or principal clause. Now read the same sentence again. If she hears the news, she will get a surprise. Here in this sentence, if she hears the news, it also contains subject, verb, but it is not giving complete sense. So here if she hears the news, this clause is known as dependent clause or subordinate clause. So one kind of clause is independent clause that can stand independently, and second kind of clause is dependent clause which needs the main clause to make the meaning clear. Now let us start with first kind of sentence, that is simple sentence. Simple sentence, it has only one main clause, means principal clause that can stand alone independently with or without a phrase. Like, Rani is a good girl. Here this is our sentence, simple sentence having one main clause, subject plus finite verb plus meaning is also clear, so it is simple sentence. It is without phrase or any phrase can be added in the sentence. Seeing the snake, the man ran away. Here seeing the snake is our phrase. So simple sentence may have one main clause only, or it may have one phrase also along with the main clause. So here the sentence 1 has only one main clause, and sentence number 2 is having one main clause as well as one phrase. So these kinds of sentences are called simple sentences. So contain one independent clause and no subordinate clause, that is a quality of simple sentence, it can contain compound subject, compound verb, or both. Like, look at these sentences. I went to the beach. These all are the examples of simple sentences. In first sentence, there is only one single subject and one clause, that is independent clause. In second sentence, subject are compound, Sarah and I, but verb is only single, went. In third sentence, single subject, Sarah, and compound verb, went and swam. Sarah went to the beach and swam in the ocean. Here, went and swam are two verbs, compound verb. In fourth sentence, Sarah and I returned from the beach and went to sleep. Here, compound subject and compound verb. So, simple sentences can be formed by having single subject, single verb, compound subject, single verb, single subject, compound verb, compound subject, and compound verb. Next, compound sentence. A compound sentence contains two independent clauses that are joined together. Here, both kinds of independent clauses will be attached with a coordinate conjunction. Here, now she works in the city is independent clause, and she lives in the suburbs, it is also independent clause. When a sentence contains two independent clauses, that kind of sentence is known as compound sentence. Look at the difference. Here there is no dependent clause. Both kind of clauses are independent. So a compound sentence can be formed by joining two logically related independent clauses by using a semicolon, a coordinating conjunction, and a transition. So by these three ways you can form a compound sentence. By using semicolon, first way of forming a compound sentence is semicolon. Two independent clauses will be added, will be attached with each other by using semicolon. Like, I love living in the city, it is independent, and the another clause is also independent, and they are joined by semicolon. Next way of forming compound sentence is by using coordinating conjunction. Now, what is coordinating conjunction? Coordinating conjunction is a conjunction which is used to join two independent clauses. Like, he could not watch the show, it is independent clause, and he decided to tape it, it is also independent clause, and it is attached with so. It is coordinating conjunction which is used to join two independent clauses. Now, these are the coordinating conjunction. For addition you can use and, for contrast but, for choice or, nor, for cause, for result, so. And you can learn them by this easy way of learning fanboys. You can learn this word fanboys. F stands for, A stands for and. This is how these letters stands for particular coordinating conjunction, and you can learn the coordinating conjunction by the word fanboys. Wherever any coordinating conjunction comes, you can easily learn that this kind of sentence is compound sentence if that coordinating conjunction is joining two independent clauses. Keep it remember, the necklace was beautiful but expensive. Here but is used. But is a coordinating conjunction, but it is not joining two independent clauses. So here it is not compound sentence, it is simple sentence. When coordinating conjunction is joining two independent clauses, then only we can say it is compound sentence. Now, next way of forming compound sentence is using a transition. Like, I love San Francisco, however I hate the traffic. Here how is used as a transition which is joining two independent clauses. So it is also known as compound sentence forming by using transition. Next kind of sentence is complex sentences. A complex sentence contains at least one independent clause and one dependent clause. Simple sentence only one main clause, compound sentence two independent clauses, and complex sentence one independent and one dependent clause. Dependent means that cannot stand itself, that is dependent for its meaning upon independent clause. Like, John can't set up his typewriter, it is independent clause, it can stand itself independently, it is making the meaning clear to us. But the wall has no outlet, it is dependent clause, it needs one independent clause to make the meaning clear. So this kind of sentence, when one independent clause is there and one dependent clause is there and that is attached with subordinating conjunction, that kind of sentence is known as complex sentences. Subordinating conjunction. Now subordinating conjunction is that kind of conjunction which joins one independent clause and one dependent clause. Look at this example. She will go to the school. She will go to school in the city. This is independent clause. She finds a job. Dependent clause. And it is also joined with subordinating conjunction. So a complex sentence contains at least one independent clause and one dependent clause. Use a comma after a dependent clause if it begins with the sentence. Like, when I first moved to the city, here in this sentence, subordinating conjunction is used in the beginning. So this sentence is showing that it is not necessary that you will find subordinating conjunction in the middle of the sentence. It can be in the beginning of the sentence also. Here when is used as subordinating conjunction, and when subordinating conjunction comes in the beginning of the sentence, then after the sentence, that clause we will use comma. If the dependent clause is the first part of the sentence, like when I first moved to the city, it is dependent clause. So here we will use comma after that dependent clause. So here these are the transition which are used in compound sentences for addition, moreover, furthermore, in addition, besides, for contrast, however, in contrast. So these are the transition which are used to join two independent clauses in compound sentences, and these are the subordinating conjunction used in complex sentences which are used to join one independent clause and one dependent clause, like while, after, thou, because, when, before. These are the subordinating conjunction which are used in complex sentences. So today we have learned the kinds of sentences: simple, compound and complex. Thank you.